You're watching Just Picture It, and I'm Fung. Our show is here in Palo Alto, which is right next to Stanford University in the San Francisco Bay Area, where entrepreneurs from around the world come to start up the next Google or Facebook. To learn about what it takes to begin a startup company, students from Singapore have been coming to study part-time at Stanford and work full-time as interns. Tonight, we have Eric Ko from the Singapore National University to talk with us about students in startups. And we're joined by two of the Singapore students, Seliyah and Silvarajoo and Ajay Gopal.
Thank you.
Welcome, Eric.
Hi, Melin.
Hi, it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
So what an exciting job you have, bringing students over to the Silicon Valley. How did this all start?
So it happened back in 2001, where NUS wants to just provide a program for students who want to step out of the norm and come to the greatest place on earth, Silicon Valley, where they can experience startups from world-class entrepreneurs themselves.
Okay. So I see the light bulb comes on in their head, right? And then they decide they want to do something that's out of the norm. No more engineering 101.
Right, exactly.
And they're going to find out about the real world and come over to Silicon Valley. How does it all work? What brings them over?
So I think it's really the desire of the students themselves that they want to do something different, because it's a huge leap of faith coming away from Singapore and going into a very foreign environment. So that's what the students do is they come in, they are thrown into the deep pool of the startup itself, and they are supposed to get the get the ground running from day one itself.
Wow! So now, as well as working at the startups, they are studying at Stanford. So they're working full time and studying part time. That's like a job and a half.
Yes, definitely. So it's a difficult experience for the students. So first, as you say, hands-on entrepreneurship experience with the startup itself as an intern there, and we layer that with evening entrepreneurship classes with Stanford, so they understand academically what they're going through in the day and culminating it at night.
Okay, what kinds of classes do they take?
Right. So we start off with a very fundamental class where where Stanford invites entrepreneurs, big name entrepreneurs, to come and share about their aspirations and their and their experience. And after that, after each class is capped off with a discussion session with an entrepreneur leading the class. And another second class is where students get hands-on experience. It's called Global Entrepreneurship Marketing. So they learn about marketing concepts and applying it to startups who have joined the class, and the students can participate in a group of 5 and execute a plan a marketing plan for them.
And there's some sort of mentorship program that's done in association with this? Do the students have mentors?
The students have mentors that the program subscribe to in the Bay Area. So they function two sides. One as a life coach to bridge the gap between the cultural differences of Singapore and the Bay Area, and the other one as an industrial coach where they can share more entrepreneurial aspirations, how to go to the market easier.
So I'm interested in this gap between Singapore on the one hand. You're taking people who have probably never left Singapore before, and then you're putting them in Silicon Valley, which is a very fast-paced situation. How do they react?
So let's move back one step before that. So the program understands that this whole program isn't suited for the entire mass. So what we do is we do a very selective program where we select about 10 to 20% of the applicants, where they have a high capability of academic as well as those who are more entrepreneurial, meaning independent and wanting to step out. So there's a natural self-selection in that process altogether.
And how has that worked out? I mean, you guys select before they come.
Right.
And then do they all work out? Are there any problems?
With every selective program, there's always wrong selections. But I would say more than half the students have worked out pretty well. And based on how they've achieved after the program itself, we've seen that some of them, a good percentage of them, become entrepreneurs themselves once they go back to Singapore. So I think that's a good achievement for the program.
So the people back in Singapore must be pretty happy with this program.
I hope so. That's why the program is still running today.
Okay, let's turn to one of the students, Seliyah. Now tell me a little bit about Seliyah before we turn to him.
So Seliyah is, I would say, someone who came from a very strong academic background. So you can see Dean's Lister, first class honors economics student, and I think startups is a new experience for him. So why don't Seliyah tell more about his experience at Newsstand?
Okay, so Seliyah, what was it like for you to come here? I mean, was it a culture shock? Was it a personal? Did you get insights from coming here? How different was it to come from Singapore to America?
I wouldn't say it's a very big culture shock because, I mean, language-wise and everything, it's pretty much the same. We speak English. It's the first language in Singapore. But what I found really different was the pace, especially in Silicon Valley. Everything is so fast. Yeah. And even if you don't know how to do something, you got to learn how to do it within the next few days and get it done.
Now, I always heard that the pace in Singapore was pretty fast too.
And that's what I thought till.
So that was a shock. You couldn't imagine that it could be faster.
Yep.
So tell me about the company that you're interning at.
So we have a consumer app, iPad application, which is actually a social news reader app.
Oh, let's back up a bit. So now we've got the logo, so News Social, right?
Yes.
Is the name of the app.
Correct. It's the name of the iPad application.
Okay.
So essentially what it does is it makes the process of learning a language, learning more knowledge about a certain industry or generally about anything you want to know about, much more fun and engaging. So let's say if you are a master, expert in the industry of, let's say, computing, and you would like to share your knowledge with your friends, you can easily create a news channel about this computing and share it with friends. And you can even put in your own thoughts on it, your own comments, and also you can share it with your friends. So essentially it's making the whole process of learning new topics more fun and engaging.
Okay, so let's take a look at the application itself. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So as you can see there are 4 news channels shown up there. And those news channels are actually pulling up content, live content, real life, from over 10,000 publications in our database. So you don't have to work hard to find the content that you're interested in. The content comes chasing after you.
Okay, so if I wanted to do a news channel, what would I have to do?
So all you have to do is, like, if you want to know about computing, you just type the keywords about computing, and then just click enter, and that's all the content will come to you relevant to your search terms that you have keyed in.
Okay, so this is different from Pinterest, right?
Yeah.
So Pinterest, you've got to go out and actually pin the site. Here you're saying it's coming to you. It's more sort of, is it push or pull?
Yeah. So it's different in the sense that all you have to do is just one step, initial process of just putting in whatever you want to know about, and then the content comes to you. And it's also another additional source of information coming from your friends. Let's say if your friend is a computing expert, he's a geek, and he's your friend, and he's willing to share his information, his expertise with you. So he will share an article, his thoughts, his comments with you. So that's another source of information you can actually get from. So that makes the whole process more engaging and fun.
Yeah, you know, Seliyah, I'm starting to understand what Eric said, that you were Dean's Lister and you're a smart guy and you just hit the ground running on this.
Thank you.
That's pretty good stuff.